Katie Darrell, and today we are at home and social with the Buckleys. How are you guys?
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
It's
Awesome.
great. I know that tomorrow is good because you're in Australia. Therefore, you already know the future is great. And so I'm psyched that tomorrow is going to be awesome.
It's going to be great. Trust us. All right.
You heard it here first.
I could have used you earlier in 2020, though. I feel like you guys, could have dropped a few hints.
Okay. We'll
Good
start doing
point.
that. Everyone can come to us.
Actually, aliens are dropping tomorrow for you guys. So, just so you know, there's that.
Just a point.
Man, this is such a big year for you. Your debut album, Daydream, is just off the charts, literally. I mean, it's just climbing and soaring, and it's so whimsical, and it's so easy to like. Tell me about the writing experience, and was it as easy to record as it is to listen to?
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That is so kind. We wrote a lot of this album only like a few days before we recorded it. We had all the songs originally picked out, but I ended up jumping on a plane and going to Nashville like a week earlier than these guys just to see what I could come up with. And we ended up using I think I wrote like 14 songs that week. We ended up using like six or something of them on the final album, just because I think when you're so inspired and excited. This is our very first album we've ever recorded. And a lot of it was only written.
Lachlan and I were literally getting on the international flight from our place in Brisbane, and we got this whole Dropbox file full of the new album. So we're like writing all our parts on the plane, ready to jump in the studio.
Yeah, and it is such a massive moment for every band and artist to record their first album. And so, we were nervous but so excited and just, so thrilled that we could capture everything that we are on this album. And it really is so authentic, and it's exactly what we wanted to do. So we're just so humbled and excited that everyone is being received so well, all around the world, and it's just amazing to us to have an album out.
Being from Australia, how important was it that you get to Nashville to record this album?
Man, I mean, Nashville for us was always such a massive goal, somewhere to get to. Like, ever since we were little, Sarah and I were actually saving up. Since I was probably 8 years old, Sarah 3 years older, but we were saving up for years and years, and eventually we got enough money for the airfares, and we lugged the entire family over. But I mean, it's always been somewhere that we've always wanted to go. I feel like every musician's like that. It's like Music City. So
and to record the album over there, we recorded it at Sound Emporium Studios, where so many legends have recorded, and it was just amazing. You could really feel the musical legacy in the walls, and just to be embraced by the Nashville community, especially as a songwriter for me as well, just to be to have these songwriters take me under their wing and really embrace us is just incredible. And it really is like a second home to us. We just can't wait to get back and hang out and play shows over there, and it's hopefully not too long.
Well, the studio you recorded in, obviously it was iconic, but the producer and engineer you worked with, I mean, two-time Grammy winner, I believe, and worked with Taylor Swift, Lady A, Jewel. How important was it to pick the right producer / engineer and get those influences of such iconic artists that came before you?
Yeah, I mean, it is such a important relationship, the artist-producer relationship, and it doesn't always work out, the way every artist or producer wants it to. So we're so lucky to have found a producer like Chad, who really is takes on all of our ideas and all of our influences, and really the goal is to capture who we are right now, and he did exactly that. And it's we have so much energy and ideas going into the studio, and he really takes them all on, and it was such
creatively it all just flows perfectly when we're working with him. It's just there's no I know, it's just awesome working with Chad.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and it's so funny the way that we met him as well, because it's one of those crazy Nashville stories where it just like the stars just aligned. Like I was riding with one of my good friends over there, Melissa Fuller, and we were talking, this would have been about 2-3 years ago, about how we're looking for a producer, and she's like, well, my neighbor's a producer, why don't we talk to him? And then we go over, she's like, we go over to his house, and then it's, I walk in and see the Grammys on the wall and Taylor Swift plaques. All right, this is kind of cool. And then, who'd have thought that here we are now having recorded with Chad, who's like family now. And it's just, that's why we love Nashville. One of the reasons. It just has this magic in the air where things like that can happen.
Yeah, it's such an awesome experience.
How have you been able to keep such a positive attitude considering all that the world is going through with the pandemic? And this is supposed to be like your time, right? This is your time. Your album is out and you're supposed to be touring and everywhere and getting back to Nashville and like everything you probably envisioned and dreamed about as a kid, even though you guys are still pretty young, thank goodness. Like it's not the same. It's not what the dream was, right?
I mean, I feel like at the start of the year it was hard because everything was changing so drastically. But we've always been taught to look at the glass half full and always find the light in a lot of darkness. We've been raised that way. So we really tried to keep that mentality. And I think it was just adjusting to this new way of doing things. Because, that's really all you can do. Like, you can sit back and be mad about it, but you won't get anything done. So I think for us, we went on the World Virtual Tour, which took up all of our time. And so that really distracted us from anything sad because that was a really amazing experience.
We definitely have kept really busy. And just, I think as well, just looking at it, as entertainers, we do this because we want to make other people happy and make them smile. And, we love playing shows and people making memories at our gigs and just bringing happiness, putting positivity into the world. And so at a time like right now, I think people need that really the most. So we kind of started entertainers and musicians because we want to make people happy and make people laugh and smile and sing along and connect with our songs. So we like Molly said, with the World Virtual Tour, that's what we did, and we still put out this album, and hopefully that's what it's doing. And
in doing that, it makes us feel good, so we just get more inspired and keep doing it.
Well, I think that the perfect segue is to let's talk about the song Breathe and the music video, because boy, we all need to remind ourselves these days to just breathe. So tell me more about the writing process in this song.
Yeah, well, this song is one of those that I did only write a few days before we went into the studio, and it was at the time when the Australian bushfires were happening, which was, another really devastating thing to happen, and I was on the, other side of the world over in Nashville watching it happen on TV to our home country here in Australia, and so me and Chad were just talking about it, and this song really just came out. It was, a really quick one to write once we found, what we wanted to say and had that little guitar riff. And, it's one of the most vulnerable songs on this album. The most vulnerable, I'd say, that, I've gotten as a songwriter and we've gotten as a band.
Yeah, when Lachlan and I first heard it, again, we were like just hopping on the plane, but it was a must-have for the album. It's just kind of, we really liked how, as well, everyone can apply their own experiences and stories to it. It's not just kind of focused on one thing. Like, people can be going through whatever they're going through in life and kind of hopefully apply it to that situation and try to get through it. But there was a song we needed to have on the album.
The video is so dreamy and beautiful looking. It's just, truly, it's just very whimsical. Who came up with the concept there?
Well, we worked on the music video with Louis Murphy and Caroline Murphy over here, who are like family to us. And it was, we were in we were quarantining
in a coastal town we went to.
Yeah, exactly. And Australia, we were quarantining here, so it was, all socially distanced, and we had literally a crew of 2 people. It was Caroline and Louis.
It was funny going from
let's make a video.
Super low budget.
It was funny going from like making the Money music video to Breathe, because they were so drastically different in how they were filmed. Like, Money was like, we had heaps of our friends as extras, and there was so many people
Big
on
camera
set.
crew.
Yeah, but Breathe, we really stripped it down and brought it to the bare basics, which was actually really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then adding in, you know, all of the nature and the whales and dolphins, when we saw those cuts was just like, it really gave me goosebumps because it was, yeah, like you said, it is really whimsical and, yeah, those things just took it to the next level. And
There were actually dolphins swimming in the background sunrise, and there were dolphins all in the background when we were shooting, so it was pretty magical.
The song is called Breathe, and it's off the Daydream album. Today, I'm talking to the Buckleys. We are at Home and Social. And you know what? I'm thinking I need to see what you guys are into. Let's play Rock and Tell. This is Show and Tell with music memorabilia, things that you've collected and found important over the years. Let's dig through your drawers and show me a couple things.
yeah, okay, well, how about I start? We were talking a bit about how Molly and I saved up to get to Nashville. The goal was to get to Nashville by the time I was 16 years old. That was the goal we set when I was about 11 years old. And we saved up everything that we had in a little tin jar. And this is the tin jar. And it says, I don't know if you can read it, Sarah and Molly's Nashville Funds.
Adorable. I love it.
At one stage.
Yeah.
I was just saying,
I
I
think we have some IOUs in there from Dad. Dad was like,
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean,
That's my one.
What gigs, how were you making money? Was there babysitting involved? I mean, you were young. What do you do to make money?
I mean,
Yeah.
pretty much every, like, birthday money, Christmas money. We busked a lot. So we
played some gigs as well. We dragged our parents and forced them to take us to festivals. Just kidding.
That is true. But yeah, pretty much anything.
Literally. And then are we doing 2 each?
Yeah, 2 each.
Okay. Okay.
on, Sarah.
This one was pretty special to me because I've watched the CMA Awards every single year since I was so young and dreamed of going. And I got to go last year, and I got to sit like in the place where all of the artists were sitting on the floor, and it was so amazing. This is the shiny golden ticket.
Wow, so nice.
So
good.
that was pretty amazing.
All right, cool. Those are 2 great
Mine.
things. All right, who's up next?
Not too
Am I
bad.
winning?
It is Molly.
Everything's
Wait,
competition.
But then again, no one else has played.
It's okay, Sarah. It's okay.
Oh gosh, my ones. I got the first Buckleys EP.
Oh my gosh. This one is the one we don't really count.
Put it away.
But
We don't count it. We honestly had tragic hair, so we don't show it to people.
Hold it up. I want to see it closer.
Okay. I'll show you.
There it is.
that was the homemade, it wasn't homemade actually, but it was, here in our hometown we recorded 2 songs, is it? 3 songs that will never be heard.
That's when I was a little
You never know.
surfer
There
boy.
could be a remix and a deluxe release album, and that's going to be like the bonus track.
You wish. You wish.
And then the second one is the first plane ticket to Nashville that I got. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good hoarding item.
Exciting.
All right.
Thank you.
I know, I have when I was going through mine, I had so many plane tickets. I'm like, I don't know which was the first one. I just keep them all.
Yeah, I just kind of feel weird about throwing them out.
Yeah.
Speaking of hoarding, I'm actually a vinyl collector, like junkie. Like, it's pretty unhealthy, but I love it. And this album, Jimi Hendrix Experience, the very first, got that in Nashville at an antique shop. I think the first time we went. And so that's very special to me.
That's a great album. Good.
Yeah, it's my favorite of all time.
Ooh.
And then this guitar that I actually bought in the car park of McDonald's. It's a Fender Mustang, and
Wait,
I think
you
it was
bought
made
it in a parking lot?
of McDonald's.
That's how things go down here in Australia.
Yeah.
You guys are
Macca's.
crazy. I like it.
Barefoot in McDonald's, and it's made the same year, same factory, and like same month and same model as Kurt Cobain's Fender Mustang.
Nice. Just don't go smashing yours, all
So
right?
that's this guitar.
Oh my goodness, that's so great.
Yeah, I think I'll be smashing that one.
For those of you just joining us, we are at home and social with the Buckleys. They are in Byron Bay, Australia. I am in Los Angeles, California. I'm Katie Darrell. And, we're just talking about the new album. The new album is called Daydream. You've had quite a success with the multiple singles that you've released off of it. Not to put you on your spot, because I hate when people say, well, what's your favorite? Because they're all your favorite, right? They're your babies. But what are you obsessed with right now with the album?
Ooh, I mean, I personally love Crazy Like You. It's like, that's probably one that I can jam out to it whenever I want. I mean, I can jam out to all of them, don't get me wrong, but Crazy Like You is just like one of those real rock kind of
Foot stompers.
boogie beat foot stompers. So
yeah, and I've been loving recently, because it always changes, like you say, but Woodstock 69 is a song that, like, when I wrote it, it was so, it was a really special one to write, and just the production on it is, really rhythmic, and it kind of reflects on Woodstock back in 1969, which is a time in music that we're so inspired by and have grown up listening to, Joni Mitchell and Santana, Jimi Hendrix, all of those bands from the 70s and 60s, and so that's one that I am loving at the moment.
Mine would probably be Wild Honey, because it's like, it's got this modern country pop feel, but it's also got like this subtle folk kind of feel to it as well, which I really like. And I don't know exactly how to explain it, but that's one of my favorites.
Actually, you know how you explain it? By using the term that you guys kind of coined, hippie country, right? That's kind of that's the word you guys kind of use to fill in the blanks on what is the sound of the Buckleys.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
It was funny because, when we were in Nashville, we didn't really know. Everyone would ask us what kind of music we play, and it would end up being this long answer. And so, because we, pop, but country, but rock, and a little bit of funky stuff here and there, and da-da-da-da. And so people just started saying hippie country, and we're like, well, that kind of sums it up and gives us...
Yeah, I like that. We'll take it.
It's nice. I mean, listen, it's a great description, and I mean, everything that we've learned from you today seems like it's a perfect fit. So, good job. Keep it simple, right? Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Don't stray too far off the menu from what you know.
Never heard that.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. Those of you at home, make sure you go grab the Daydream album from the Buckleys. You will love all the singles. And if you're just interested in cruising some of their music videos, might I suggest you check out Breathe. Thank you guys so much, really.
Thank
you so much for
Legend.
chatting with us. I am so excited to hear an American accent again as well. I can't wait to get back there and hang out with you all.
Well, I'm glad that I gave you a little bit of piece of the good old USA.
Hell yeah.
All right, have a good one. Be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Katie.
See ya.
Bye.